Welcome to mycutename.com. Charles' name is the French and English version of the German name Karl or Karl, derived from the Germanic word Karl, meaning free man. Long ago, the Germanic term Karl meant a free man, but not one of nobility, that is, from the same early medieval root as the Old English word Ceorl, which meant man of low birth, a common man. In late Middle High German and Middle English, however, both terms evolved to their definitions meaning more simply man, mate, husband. Despite early place, low, being the name, many high-ranking Europeans and those in between bore images of Karl/Karl derivative names, such as Charlemagne, Charles, Caroline, and Charlotte. In fact, the 8th/9th century Frankish leader, Charlemagne, Charles the Great, had much to do with the perpetuation of the name among the early Franks, a Germanic tribe and precursors to the French. In the 15th century, upper-class people in England began to adopt the name, and Queen Mary of Scots, having been influenced by her French upbringing, named her first child Charles James. He would eventually become King James VI of Scotland and then King James I of England, uniting Scotland, England, and Ireland under one monarchy. Both his son and his grandson, King Charles I and II, reigned as king after him. One of the most successful names in English and French, Charles continues to reign supreme on the naming charts in England, the United States, Canada, Australia, and France. Karl, Chuck, Charlie, Chas, and Chip are all considered short forms of Charles. Personality. 3 Energy is powerful and enthusiastic. They have an artistic touch and gift of JB that makes them natural actors. Her joy bubbles over, and her infectious exuberance draws a crowd. The 3 personality is like a child, always young and full of joy. They are charming, witty, and generally happy people. 3 by 3 they seem to live with a bright and seemingly unwavering aura that draws others to them. In turn, they are deeply loyal and loving to their friends and family. Luck also has a tendency to favor number 3. Popularity. Charles has remained a long and persistent name choice for American babies. From the years 1890 to 1954, 65 years in a row, the name was a top 10 favorite. Every decade since the 1950s, Charles has dropped an average of 10 points per 10 years, so today he hovers around the position number 60. Being quite popular from a relative point of view, Charles may be becoming an old option that doesn't satisfy the same appeal as other classic English names, William, James, John, and Henry. However, it is a name that sounds dignified and learned, and endorsed by many famous people from literary genius from Charles Dickens to great jazz musician Charlie Parker to naturalist Charles Darwin to aviator Charles Lindbergh to basketball star and struggling golfer Charles Barkley. It is a name that speaks for itself without even having to prove it. The pet form, Charlie, is a less formal form of the name that stands on its own, too. A risk-free pick, Charles will probably never fall too far down the charts. This one will likely retain its top 100 status for centuries to come. Charles will probably never fall too far down the charts. This one will likely retain its top 100 status for centuries to come. Charles will probably never fall too far down the charts. This one will likely retain its top 100 status for centuries to come. Famous people named Charles. Charles Bukowski, author. Charles Boyer, actor. Charlie Chaplin, actor/director. Charles Durning, actor. Charlton Heston, born Charles Carter, actor. Charles Laughton, actor. For more interesting information, visit mycutename.com.